In every generation, in every village, there is always one girl whose beauty stops conversations. One girl whose smile makes grown men forget what they were saying. One girl whose presence in a room changes the temperature of the air. In Ama Allah village, that girl was Chioma. Ama Allah was not an ordinary village. It was a community of wealth, education, and fierce competition. The people of Ama Allah pushed themselves and their children relentlessly to study harder, build bigger, achieve more. It was the kind of village where mediocrity was not tolerated and excellence was expected. And Chioma was the product of that environment. She was not just beautiful, she was brilliant. Her intelligence matched her looks in every way. She carried herself with a grace that made people stop and stare. Not just because of how she looked, but because of how she made you feel when she spoke to you. It was no surprise that men noticed her. It was no surprise that men wanted her. But two men in particular wanted her more than anything else in the world. The first to come was Chibique. Chibique was a man of books and brilliance, educated to the highest level. He had walked the corridors of universities and emerged as a lecturer, a man who shaped young minds for a living. He was not the richest man in Ama Allah. He did not drive the most expensive car or wear the most expensive clothes. But when Chibique loved, he loved completely. He had watched Chioma from a distance for a long time before he finally gathered his courage and went to her family. He came with respect. He came with intention. He came with a heart so full of love for Chioma that every word he spoke carried the weight of sincerity. "I want Chioma to be my wife," he told her family. "I do not have everything, but everything I have, I will give to her." The family listened. They connected with Chibique deeply, and they loved what they heard. But before that connection could fully blossom, Chitara arrived. And Chitara was a different kind of man entirely. Where Chibique was gentle, Chitara was bold. Where Chibique was patient, Chitara was aggressive. Where Chibique offered love, Chitara offered the world. Chitara was a businessman of considerable wealth. The kind of man who walked into a room and immediately commanded attention, not because of his character, but because of his confidence and the unmistakable aura of money that followed him everywhere. He had seen Chioma. He wanted Chioma. And Chitara was not the kind of man who accepted the word no. It did not matter to him that Chibique had come first. It did not even matter that Chibique and Chitara shared the same bloodline. Distant brothers connected by family and history. Chitara wanted what Chitara wanted, and he was willing to pay any price to get it. He went to Chioma with promises that made her head spin. "Marry me and I will take you around the world. Marry me and you will never lack anything for the rest of your life. Marry me and your family will want for nothing." He backed his words with actions. Gifts arrived at Chioma's door. Money was placed in her family's hands. Every promise was accompanied by evidence that Chitara could deliver exactly what he said. And so Chioma found herself standing at the crossroads that many women before her had stood at, and many women after her will stand at again. Love or comfort? Heart or security? Chibique or Chitara? She knew what her heart was saying. It had been saying it from the very beginning. Every time Chibique looked at her, she felt something that Chitara's money could never buy. But the world is not always kind to women who choose love over comfort. Chitara was offering her a life free of financial strain, a life of travel, of abundance, of never having to worry. Could she really walk away from that? The confusion ate at her quietly. She smiled on the outside while her heart argued with her head on the inside. Chibique continued to love her steadily and patiently, never pressuring, never threatening, never wavering. Chitara continued to pursue her aggressively, raising his offers, increasing his promises, refusing to accept that she had not yet chosen him. Two men, one woman, and a decision that would define the rest of her life. In the end, it was not just Chioma's decision to make. Her family had watched everything. They had seen both men. They had listened to both men. They had weighed everything carefully. And when the time came to speak, the family of Chioma chose Chibique. Not because he was richer, not because he could offer more, but because of something that money has never been able to purchase: character, sincerity, and genuine love. The family had seen how Chibik looked at their daughter. They had seen a man who would build with her, not just spend on her. A man who would stay through the difficult seasons, not just enjoy the good ones. A man whose love was not a transaction, but a commitment. And they trusted that love more than they trusted Chittera's wealth. When the news reached Chittera, the confident businessman who had never lost anything he truly wanted, lost his composure completely. He stormed to Chibik's house, furious, desperate, and broken. "Why are you doing this?" he shouted. "You know how much I love this girl. How much do you want? Name your price. I will pay you anything." Chibik looked at his distant brother calmly and said, "I met Chioma before you came. I love her too. I am not causing any problem, and I do not want your money." Chittera, the rich, confident, unstoppable businessman, broke down and cried, because there are some things in this world that all the money in the world cannot purchase. And Chittera had just discovered what one of them was. The wedding day came, and Chittera came too, not to celebrate, but for one last attempt. He found Chioma before the ceremony began and tried once more to change her mind. The villagers gathered around him, gently, firmly, and pleaded with him not to cause a scene on such a sacred occasion. Chittera looked at Chioma one final time, and then, with the heaviest heart he had ever carried, he turned and walked away. Chibik and Chioma got married. The village celebrated. The food was plenty. The music played. And two people who had found each other through love, not money, began their life together. But marriage has a way of revealing things that courtship keeps hidden. And what was revealed in Chibik and Chioma's marriage was something that nobody had anticipated. Chioma began to behave as though she had done Chibik a favor. She carried herself in their home with the quiet attitude of a woman who believed she had sacrificed something great, that she had given up Chittera's wealth and chosen Chibik out of pity. And Chibik, the man who had loved her completely and consistently from the very beginning, felt it. Every day he felt it. The man who had come first. The man who had loved her before Chittera even knew her name. The man whose love had been genuine and patient and unwavering, was now living with a woman who treated that love as though it were a consolation prize. And so the question that Ama Allah now whispers is this: did Chioma truly choose love? Or did she choose Chibik, and then spend her marriage mourning Chittera? And is a love chosen with reservation really love at all? The lesson from Ama Allah is deeper than it first appears. Choosing love over money is only truly beautiful when you choose it without looking back. The moment you treat the person you chose as a consolation prize, you have already lost the very thing that made your choice worthwhile. Chibik deserved to be chosen completely, not chosen and then made to feel like second place. And perhaps that is the real lesson Chioma still needs to learn. What do you think? Did Chioma make the right choice? And how should Chibik respond to being treated this way? Comment below. Let's talk about it.